What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. It's time for a special edition of Dynamite as AEW presents Fight for the Fallen, featuring the long-awaited return of Bryan Danielson. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Seth Rollins is still wrestling at SummerSlam, who could be the mystery opponent, CM Punk blasts WWE and talks the new regime, is Bryan Danielson a bully, a fight breaks out at AEW Rampage, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and a non-wrestling channel, Incredible. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, making a statement. Keith Lee is a big man, so when someone takes him out backstage, fans are gonna stand up and notice. Well, that's exactly what happened as former Ring of Honor Pure Champion Josh Woods was seen backstage standing over a fallen Keith Lee. Now, AEW fans might not know who Woods is, but they do now. An ideal example of how to introduce a new wrestler by having them lay out a big established one. Number 2, Jungle Boy going ham. Jungle Boy went ham on Christian Cage on Dynamite, holding nothing back as he blasted Christian, eviscerating him with the line, "Christian Cage, you're the biggest pussy I've ever met in my entire life," then emasculating Captain Charisma by insulting his manhood and informing the fans Christian is broke as a joke after his wife divorced him. This was the promo Jungle Boy needed to cut to show while he's still a babyface, he's nobody's doormat and Christian is gonna regret turning on him. Number 3, Trios titles, baby. AEW's long-rumored Trios titles will be here soon, and while we can't wait to see which teams compete for the promotion's latest championship, AEW is brimming with Trios teams, and this could be one of the most exciting tournaments in AEW since the men vied for the TNT Championship in 2020. Number 4, and a new FTW champion. Hook's FTW Championship win was the latest step in Hook's slow but steady climb in AEW. The match made Hook look good and set things up for Starks' babyface turn. Starks has been a fighting champion, which has helped turn the FTW Championship into more than just a prop. It'll be intriguing to see if Hook turns heel and whether AEW incorporates his father Taz into any storylines involving him. Number 5, Daniel Garcia levels up. Daniel Garcia has clearly leveled up since joining the Jericho Appreciation Society, as he held his own against Bryan Danielson, capitalizing on some timely interference from Jake Hager to score a TKO win against a bona fide main eventer. Granted, the Sports Entertainer's win wasn't clean, but Garcia put in a good match and went toe-to-toe against Danielson for much of the match. Will Garcia have won without outside interference? Well, perhaps not, but this match could be the star-making performance Garcia needed to go from mid-carder to eventual main eventer. And Bryan Danielson delivers. Danielson hasn't missed a beat despite being out of action since AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. He was solid in the ring last night and helped put Garcia over as a star who seems main event bound. Now that was the good, but the bad? Well, there's nothing bad. A rare night in which nothing bad really occurred. While Moxley vs Rush wasn't a marquee match to open up the show, at least in terms of two top stars slugging it out, credit to AEW giving Rush time to show the fans what he can do against interim world champion. Of course, there was nothing bad and nothing downright ugly. A solid episode of Dynamite as AEW continued Hook's push and turned Ricky Starks babyface in the process. AEW set up an interesting rematch between Chris Jericho and interim AEW World Champion Jon Moxley and continued the slow build to All Out. Anna Jay's heel turn transformation was cute, and with any luck, she'll get more opportunities to wrestle. Well, that was our quick review of Dynamite. What do you guys think of the show? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first we look at Seth Rollins expected to wrestle at SummerSlam. Topping today's news is the report that Seth Rollins vs Riddle SummerSlam match has been cancelled. The storyline wheels are turning as the WWE works to set up a new opponent for Seth Rollins at SummerSlam following the recent announcement that his opponent Riddle will be unable to compete due to Seth inflicting a kayfabe injury to Riddle on this week's Raw. According to Fightful Select, the WWE told Rollins and Riddle about the change of plans prior to Raw, leading to the post-match attack where Rollins curb-stomped Riddle on the ring steps. Rollins tweeted his disappointment at not having an opponent. For anyone who purchased a ticket to SummerSlam hoping to see me in action, I apologize. I did everything I could over the last 6 months to earn my spot on this show, but some things are out of my control. Thank you for always singing my song. They'll hear you someday. Triple H responded saying, I hear you. Dave Meltzer speculated on the situation, saying they moved it, Rollins vs Riddle, to clash at the Castle for whatever reason. And that's what they did, and I got the impression from that tweet that it's like Triple H kind of baby-facing himself where he takes away a match and you're all disappointed. Well, injury takes away the match, although it's a worked injury, so he comes and saves the day and, announces a match. The WWE Universe is curious about Seth's potential opponent, especially after his mystery opponent at WrestleMania 38 turned out to be Cody Rhodes. Who do you guys think Seth will wrestle? Next up, CM Punk blasts WWE and talks a new regime. There's lots of talk about how Vince McMahon's retirement and Triple H taking over creative will change things, but how does longtime WWE critic CM Punk feel about things? Well, Punk was at the San Diego Comic-Con when he was asked about whether the WWE is going to change.
Because he tweeted that I'm retired, you think he's not going to be hands-on and he's not going to...
One of the most discussed aspects of McMahon's retirement is whether he'll control things from behind the scenes. Even if McMahon steps away, Punk seems to think WWE's corporate culture isn't going to change.
I don't think the structure there. I don't think what's the word I'm looking at? It's not at the cult. I don't think the culture there changes at all. I think it is what it is. I'll put it to you like this. Oh boy, people are going to be real fucking mad about this, but fuck it. Mercedes and Trinity leave, and they announce on SmackDown that, gosh darn, we're so disappointed in them, and they really let our fans down. Brock splits, comes back, obviously. I think he worked the show, but...
The current AEW World Champion noted the differences between how the WWE handled Brock's walkout compared to others.
Where's Michael Cole saying, man, Brock Lesnar really let these fans down? I walked out. They went on TV and they called me a quitter. What's changed? What's the difference? You're going to attack these two fucking poor women who just kind of had enough and they walked? You got bigger balls than everybody there. So what's changed? There's nothing much that's changed,
Punk wasn't holding back as he continued his criticism, saying,
There's people that talk about it, and there's people that do it, and the people who lick the boots and have the audacity to go on live television and say that about those two women. Fucking cowards and bootlickers. That shit's ridiculous. Why didn't they do it for Brock? They did it for me. No. It's none of my business.
And without taking sides, it's worth noting that Brock Lesnar's reported walkout didn't last long, as opposed to those of Punk, Naomi and Sasha Banks. Though there's no way of knowing how the WWE might have handled things had Brock walked out and not returned. What do you guys think of CM Punk's take on things? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Maria Kanellis talks WWE return. And while CM Punk doesn't think the WWE has changed with Vince McMahon's retirement, former superstar Maria Kanellis has a different take on things when she was asked whether she'd return to the WWE now that Stephanie and Triple H are in charge. The wrestling world is wild right now. I always had a great working relationship with Triple H. I know that Mike Bennett liked his brief time in NXT. The right opportunity is always timing meets talent. If it's the right time, then it's the right time. Would you guys like to see them back? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, is Bryan Danielson a bully? Our fans have heard stories about wrestlers bullying other wrestlers, but Bryan Danielson will be the first to tell you he's a locker room bully. Bryan recently appeared on the Masked Man show and admitted, "I'm a real bully. I come in and I tend to bully people around a little bit. People laugh and I think that's funny, but it's actually very true. I don't bully people I don't know. I bully people like Paul White and Mark Henry. When I came in and Paul saw me, he goes, 'Oh no, the bully is back.'" A Ring of Honor Hall of Famer explained to Robbie Fox to the My Mom's Basement show what he does. "I do bully other people, sometimes giants. Only occasionally giants. I come in hot. When I come into the locker room, I come in hot. I'm not coming in there to be as soft on these guys. I come in and everybody's on their phone and I'm gonna yell at them. Sometimes I'll be on the training table and Paul will come up and grab me in some sort of way and I'll immediately, as fast as I can, try to armbar him. That does happen. Not that he's a giant, but I'm constantly trying to take down Jake Hager. He's got an amateur wrestling and MMA background." Bryan remarked that he doesn't always come out on top, recalling a situation involving him and current All-Atlantic champion Pac. "We had a real big pistol squat contest when I was telling everybody I had the best pistol squat in AEW. The Pac really showed me up and everyone turned on me. I like that fun dynamic, those fun and games at work." What do you guys think of Bryan Danielson's candid confession? And finally, a fan altercation at AEW Rampage. And last but not least, reports are coming in of an altercation between two wrestlers and a fan at a taping at the 29th July edition of Rampage. Dave Meltzer discussed the situation, saying, "There was an altercation between Stockley and Lee and a fan as they were leaving, which I'm sure won't be on television." Ringside News reported, during the taping of Friday Night Rampage, Lee Moriarty wrestled a match against Matt Sydal. After Moriarty got the win, manager Stockley Hathaway got involved. As Moriarty and Hathaway were leaving, they got into an altercation with a fan. The details are a little bit sparse, but we'll let you know if there's any update. But there you have it, folks. I'll look at this week's Dynamite as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.